obviously it's the internet.
Seriously though.
But like they're like a couple girls are like, you should start an OnlyFans for your feet because you're always on your pedal boards. I'm like, that's a kind of good idea.
Yep.
Hey man, like they say in Cocaine Anonymous, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
They're just like, that's actually kind of a good idea. Just play your songs, but just do E-cam on the board whenever you switch.
Like those overhead cooking videos where it's just people's hands, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put the link up on Instagram and.
Sure.
Ooh. Yeah, you have your own dedicated camera, plus the one that gets both of us.
Oh, sick. Doing it through. Are you streaming through OBS or through YouTube?
OBS, actually.
Cool.
But OBS to YouTube.
Okay, cool. Because I do it through Twitch.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the different things now.
I am like old enough and out of it enough that I'm just stoked that I got it to work.
OBS is kind of rough because there isn't like an immediate like instruction manual on how to do it.
Yeah, it took a while to figure it out.
For me, it took a few YouTube videos to be like, okay, like this is, I want this, I want the overlay chat, I want some sort of interactivity with it.
Yep. So I got to get the overlay chat window up here again soon, somehow. Okay, so let me see if I can get the chat up just in case anybody has questions, because...
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get it up. Yeah, there is no way. Oh, we got to turn on the cameras. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah. Are we going with this door closed or are we leaving it open for Ash to come down?
You know what? And we need that whole... I guess I can just pull it up on here.
Oh,
I was going to print it out, but we've got it up here. It'll work.
Yeah, we've got it up there.
Oh, and after all that autofocus... Okay, that's working. Last camera, and then we're good. Hey! We got cameras running. Okay, here we go.
You want me to close this door?
Yeah, you want to close that? All right.
Oh.
Well, hello, everybody. I guess I'm talking, so I'll put the camera on me. So welcome to the inaugural episode. Oh, you want to turn on that light too, Garrett?
Yeah.
The inaugural episode of Seen and Heard podcast, sponsored by me, Baldwin Guitars, Nate Baldwin. So today we got some fun stuff going on. We got Dominique. How do you pronounce your last name?
Gomez-Navarette.
Navarette. Okay. I was going to guess, and it was going to be wrong.
No, it's fine.
It's on the back. There's a switch, like old school switch. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, we got Dominique here with us today, and one of my oldest friends and co-host, Garrett Cimino.
Hey.
So yeah. Well, let's just dive right into it. So one of the first things we wanted to do is go over. This camera is like right between me and you, so I'm gonna have to like remember that for future episodes here. So yeah, diving right into it. Local music updates. One of the whole points of this episode or the podcast is to try and bring more eyes to local music here in Utah as well as wherever people are. You know, There's awesome music happening everywhere. Garrett and I grew up in a place called Newbury Park, California in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was such a hotbed for awesome rock and roll, and we had it just made the rest of our lives that much better, and we want to try and make sure that we're supporting that wherever we can. So, diving right into it, Johnny Baseball is our first one here to talk about. So Johnny Baseball is a lot of fun. They played at Power Chord Fest a couple weeks ago. They are opening for Strung Out on September 14th in Salt Lake.
That's lit.
That would be such a sick show.
So yeah, that's September 14th. We'll put links to tickets in the description of the video later. Another awesome local is Wicked Bears. So
I'm not familiar with them.
You don't know Wicked Bears?
No.
They are cool.
Wicked Bears are a lot of fun. It's the drummer from Anchorage. And then I played in a band called Eli Whitney back in the day, and the bass player and singer for Eli Whitney is the singer for Wicked Bears. I consider them probably the best pop punk band in the state. There might be a better one that I just haven't heard of yet, but they're really, really good. They're on
that's a big
Wiretap
part
Records.
of doing this podcast is trying to help discover, not just for ourselves selfishly, but also for everyone else, what rad local music is out there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I love listening to new bands and seeing. I'm like, I've never heard of Wicked Bears. Got to check them out now.
Yep, you gotta check it out. But yeah, Wicked Bears is September 20th in Irvine. Irvine, California. They're on Wiretap Records, and it's Wiretap Records' 10-year anniversary show. So old school classics like The Beautiful Mistake playing that show as well. I think it's the 20th and 21st in Irvine. So again, more links in. We'll do more links here in the description when we're done with the video. Next, we've got a band called Good Terms. They're not local. They're from California, but they are one of the coolest up and coming bands I think right now.
Oh, they had that really viral video and song.
Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm. It's just pop punk, but also super post-hardcore, early knots kind of post-hardcore.
Oh well, and have you heard their cover of Van Halen's Jump?
No,
they throw it right in the middle of one of their songs, and
that's so sick,
with breakdowns and everything.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So sick.
That was the first song I heard of theirs, and it sold me on them. So they're rad.
Nate and I went and saw them. They actually just came through here a few weeks ago. They played with Like Roses and Knuckle Puck and the Wonder Years.
Oh, I really wanted to go to that.
It was such a great show.
Yeah, that was a rad show. So yeah, they're coming through on September 10th. Which is the same night that the Get Up Kids is playing in Salt Lake.
Yeah, the Get Up Kids and the Smoking Popes are coming to town. The
So
Get Up Kids are doing the 25th anniversary of Something to Write Home About, and so it's heavy competition, but also at the same time you can't go wrong.
Either way.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. So good luck choosing which one to do on that one. And then other local music news. Good Call, who also played at Power Chord Fest.
Sick guys.
I think it's newsworthy that that they're back together and playing shows and recording new music. So I wanted to make sure we covered that, and we'll get links out to them. If you haven't heard Good Call and you're in Utah, you need to. They're from up northern Utah, Logan area, so they're kind of far away. But when they get down there to Salt Lake and Utah County, they make sure you don't miss it. And then last one, another band that was going to play Power Chord Fest that didn't make it. They're called You're the Worst. Have you heard of them? They're fun.
Also great.
How would you describe them, Garrett?
Just a really, really good throwback.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's very nostalgic. It's very like, yeah, I listened to this 15 years ago and it's rad, and I'm so glad they're keeping it alive.
Heck yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think they called themselves mall emo, if I remember correctly.
My favorite genre, like, ever.
I love it. So that's it for local music news. Like I said, lots of cool stuff going on locally. So if you are in Utah, check out those bands. I'll put links to all of them here. But on to our interview with Dom here. So Dom, we're going to spotlight you here a bit. So you've got Ideal Horizon.
Yes.
You've got Wave of Discord.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about both.
Okay, so like everything for me, for both bands, everything kind of started like 2020 when everyone was home and like just wanting and needing to like just, everyone's bored. And so I was like, I want to make music again. I used to play it all the time. I used to play music all the time in high school and stuff, got to college and just kind of got really depressed and stopped, which sucks. But yeah, like coming out of that slump, like I was like 2020 is like, I got so much free time. I should just work on music, try to make music. So like for the longest time, I was just, with Ideal Horizon specifically, it was just me going on Facebook and just like looking at like posts and stuff. And then this one post, their post just rang out to me. And I was like, I don't know what, it sounded good. And I was like, oh, like maybe. And I wasn't looking for anything like what Ideal Horizon is now. Like we're just like a pop punk band, I guess. Like there's so many influences from like everyone else, but in general I think it's just pop punk and not like like more punk than pop, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I have a hard time categorizing Ideal Horizon myself.
Yeah,
because I know there's like a lot of the Paramore influence there.
Yes,
and
a lot of Paramore,
a lot of the pop punk influence, but when I watch you guys play, it's more, I don't know, it's I'd almost say more alt rock.
Yes,
Anything?
There's a lot of.
It's also just fun, right? Like
Yeah.
not the band fun, right? Like nothing wrong with them, but
Thank
it's
goodness.
just fun. It's just like when we watch you all play, it's just like when we listen to the record stuff, it's like, this is fun. I have a smile on my face. I am
Yeah.
enjoying myself.
Yeah, that's literally how like all of our songs and stuff, like how we write, is just everything just needs to be fun and have fun with it. And like, so like, for instance, me and my bass player Bryson, we're both like jazz music nerds, and so we think of all the chord progressions and how the transition from one chord progression to the other, how the choruses sound, stuff like that. And so like there's that fun for us too. Then there's fun with like everyone, like with Keith, like he's so influenced by like 90s and alt rock that it just comes out from him. And then me and Renee are like the two members that listen to like basically just a lot of like metalcore and deathcore. And so like, which is funny because she doesn't scream at all. She's
No.
a clean singer.
So I heard a band recently and I thought it was you at first. It's a band called Fox Teeth.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, go look up Fox Teeth and be like, oh, that sounds like Renee singing. Like, it was weird. It was super weird. But yeah, I want to hear more about Wave of Discord as well, because they're like, it's like California-based guys and stuff.
Yeah, so Wave of Discord started, it's funny because our name is literally where we started. Like our singer, he goes by, his handle on everything is Wavelengths, and we were founded on Discord, so he just kind of made the name, smashed it together.
There you go.
Wave of Discord. It was just him, just himself. Started out as a solo project, then he was like, well, I need like other musicians. I want to have more people in there when I play live, just to like have people play my stuff. So originally I was just there just to like play the music live, and that was about it. And the more and more we got into it, the more we clicked together, and it turned into like a kind of like a serious band. And then was it 2022? The four of us at the time, myself, Wave, our drummer Kaysen, who's from Tennessee, and our bass player Andrew from Minnesota, we decided to take a trip out to where Adrian lived, out like in Corona, California, and just sit there, like film a music video, record all the music, and just do that like for like a week and a half straight. Just shut ourselves in and do all that.
So, funny side note, my dad graduated from Corona High School. So that's awesome.
But yeah, it was kind of just like we were all just bored on Discord, and we just decided to like start a band. Well, Wave contacted all of us to help him be his band for his like stuff, and then it turned into like, no, like we actually want to like be all a part of this rather than you be the like the solo artist and then us being like the hired guns. He actually wanted us to be more involved with the music writing and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Cool. So next question I got for you. So what bands and venues and shows like got you into music as a younger kid?
It really started with video games. It was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, Underground 2, and then Guitar Hero. So like that's where all like my music taste really comes from. So like it was always video games, and I was like, dang, like the soundtrack is great, the music is great, and then like Guitar Hero really cemented like for me that it's the guitar for me that really like just attached to me. That makes like for me that makes it. And then afterwards, like going into that, I found like other friends who obviously liked Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk. We were all skateboarding, and we would go to like the local skate park in Dallas called Eisenberg's. They got, I think it doesn't exist anymore, which is sad. But like that was our favorite
like
spot.
Most skate parks, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they were so cool. They were like, it was small enough, like it was small venue but big enough that like some really good artists came through, like like Dance Gavin Dance, for example, played there when they were smaller. Fit for a King got their start kind of there.
Nice.
And there's just a bunch of bands that came through, and it was always fun. Tickets were cheap, and it was just fun. And then a lot of like the local like scene also was there too. We didn't like in Dallas, we had like a really big like post-hardcore kind of scene. So there were a lot of like I said, like you mentioned mall emo. We had a lot of like mall emo, a lot of screamo, post-hardcore, crabcore, like Attack style bands.
That's awesome.
And so like we had a lot of that. And then we had like some like really cool like thrash / like death metal, deathcore bands. Like Seeker was like one of my favorite local bands. They were super sick. I love their like first EP that they put out was like just so good. But yeah, like it all started like kind of going to like the skate park, and then eventually grew into like, oh, like I really like music and guitar playing more than I like skateboarding. So I started going to like a bunch of local venues. The Door in Dallas. I can't even remember all the other venues. And then like also like me and my friends, we would do like house shows. We would host house shows of like my band or their band.
I miss house shows so much.
So much fun. I love playing house shows. I wish I wish I could play more now, because those were like the best and funnest times, because it was just so laid back, so much fun, and so like just close and tight, and such a good community around everything.
So right before you got here, Garrett and I were talking about this exact same thing in Southern California. So like there was a skate park that I saw Circus Survive at one night. And then like crazy house shows so there was a karate dojo. And we called it
the Kung Fu Corner. That was the actual name of it. And they would host shows. And I remember we were there and we saw, it was Hope's Fall, Avenged Sevenfold, and
so
The
sick.
Beautiful Mistake.
No, Atreyu was there that night too.
Atreyu was there that night.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're
So
right.
it's Avenged Sevenfold, Atreyu, Beautiful Mistake, and Hope's Fall in a karate dojo. Like,
That's so sick.
and it's like, you know, how could you not be like super into music for the rest of your life after that night? You know.
But then there was a show there that ended up getting canceled. Something about a fire in a dumpster, and so it was
nothing
the
to do with that.
casket lottery that was in from Kansas City,
Oh.
and the casket lottery just ended up playing in Sean Burke's backyard until the cops got called. And it was just one of the greatest things ever, because we're sitting here 17, 18 years old, having the time of our lives, not realizing like how cool this was.
Oh,
And then, you know, 23 years later, like, I wish we could go back to that. I wish I could go back and see the casket lottery in Sean Burke's backyard again.
Well, and we might be talking about how we saw Ideal Horizon in somebody's backyard in another 20 years. You never know.
I hope so.
And that's what's so cool about all this, right?
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. Yeah, like one of my favorite memories is playing my friend Michael's place. His like dad went away for the weekend, and so like we were like, oh, you got the house to yourself. What are we gonna do? And so we planned it all out. Like all of our friends came over. We had a barbecue. He had a pool too, so we played like poolside. And then like immediately after our set, like took my guitar off, like just dived in, like skinny jeans and all.
Yeah, we did that. There ended up being a fight in the pool. Okay, so a little bit more of a difficult question for you. What's a pet peeve about the local music scene that you have?
For me, that's actually kind of tough because like everyone's been super cool and almost like accepting of like specifically my band and us being like really really pop punk and really punk, and being like also like with myself and like being like my music's like playing and style is very aggressive. I love like a high gain tone, and so it's like very loud and very high gain. But like everyone has like, when I've showed them my music, they're like, "Oh, this is great. This is like reminds me of like we always like Paramore, obviously. Like we always get called Paramore. Like they would always say, "Oh, I wish there would be more bands like you." So it's kind of like for us, it's been kind of hard to find other similar bands that we can like form something together with that are also like in this like weird like pop punk aggressive like kind of niche that we're in. And so like that's probably like my pet peeve is that like there needs to be more pop punk, emo, hardcore, post-hardcore bands like in our scene. Like there needs to be a few more. And luckily there's like Head Above Water recent, like
Oh my
them
God.
playing around.
Whoa.
Like I absolutely love them, and I go to every one of their shows now, and I'm like, this is like our like brother sister band basically. Like Ideal Horizon, Head Above Water, like totally mixed like together. We should.
Okay, so I got to talk about Head Above Water for a minute. So those guys, they started following my guitar company on Instagram, and they were like super into it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And you never quite know with like strangers on the internet if they're going to be cool or not. And then it's kind of the same thing. You showed up at that guitar festival at the Pearl.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, cool. Dom's cool. And then these kids showed up at I say kids, like they're probably way older than kids, but they showed up at the Utah Symphony, where we had like a guitar trade show in the lobby of the Utah Symphony, and they were there. And I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like, yeah, we have a band. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And you never know when somebody says that. It's like, okay, they could be awesome, or they could be like, I'm gonna have to be really nice about this, right? When they played a couple weeks ago, like I was so pleasantly surprised. I'm like,
I was blown away.
they're like, okay, these guys are one of the better bands in the state, and they don't even have anything recorded yet. I'm like, guys, got to get this done. Like I want to listen to the record.
And can we talk about the other thing, that they just don't even know how cool they are yet?
They really don't.
They don't know how cool they are, because they're playing, and like older guys like us were watching it, and we're just like, what the hell is this? This is amazing.
Yes.
Can you guys do more of this? Can you record something? Can you guys play shows more often? And they're just like, there's just three kids having a good time, and they are awesome. And if you haven't listened to them yet, you need to go listen to them. And unfortunately, at this point, you're
You
going to
have
have
to
to
do it
do it
live.
live. You're going to have to do it live,
They're
which
so
honestly
good.
is the best way to go do it. It's the best way to go explore new bands.
Well, and it's not just like it's not just the music's good. Like the show is good too, right?
Yeah, they perform. Like they are actually performing. They don't just sit there with their guitars and kind of stand still. They are actively moving around, screaming, shouting. Like it's not the most, like, you can say they're like musical performance from a musician standpoint, probably bad, terrible intonation, whatever.
But it's rock and roll.
But it's
like,
so good. Like you can feel the passion from it.
well, and that's the whole thing about like the music that we do, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not about being perfect. If
Oh,
you
no.
played it perfectly and you stood there boring on stage, like you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You know? There's a couple clips of like at the drive-in playing on
Oh.
late night, and it's insanity. Like it's so good. And then there's some old clips of like bands like Seosin
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Tim McTagg from Under Oath, where it's like,
Yes.
how are you even playing the guitar while you're doing that? You know, so that's the type of stuff that's just like it's infectious. So, anyway, next question. So, what do you think is currently the biggest hurdle to getting people to come out to shows and stay for all the bands?
It probably goes back to like the same thing where like for my band specifically, we're trying to find our niche. We're trying to find like the other bands that sound not exactly like us, but similar to us or similar in genre. Like I mentioned, Head Above Water, definitely want to play a show with them. The other band, Good Call. Like I feel like we would
Heck
be
yeah,
perfect
man.
mix with them, Head Above Water. But like those are just two bands out of like the hundreds of bands locally. Like a lot of our shows, we've had to like play with like softer indie bands or like singer-songwriter acoustic acts, and so it's like, yeah, like the fans that come to those shows are expecting like nice vibes, like singer-songwriter, like really cool, really chill music, and then we're on stage and we are super loud, and like it's
And I would say you're not loud enough. You guys are doing the ampless thing. It's like,
so like it's only for that like after playing a few shows without an amp, going straight into the PA, and then playing my show with Wave of Discord out in California where I had to use an amp and get it all mic'd up, and especially because we were just out in a parking lot basically, and so like having the amp there and the extra PA and everything, like all that sounds better to me, especially like
Oh, yeah.
I noticed it with one of our last songs, Letter to Forget. We changed it up to where like the last part of the song is just we just play all those chords and just hold them out, kind of like shoegaze style, just tons of delay, tons
it's
of
pronounced
reverb.
Shugazi, by the way.
Shugazi. But yeah, just tons of delay, tons of reverb, me just standing in front of the amp getting a bunch of feedback. And so like I was like, yeah, I need to like use the amp. Also like it's also like a monitor to me, so now I have like a weird like half and half kind of situation where I'm like DI going into the PA, but then also like sending a signal to my amp. So best of both worlds for me.
Yeah.
The sound engineer is happy because he can control everything. It sounds like off our records or whatever, our singles and stuff. And then I'm happy because I get to like hear the amp and get up close to it and get feedback and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I've been saying a lot recently, like it's not that it sounds better, it feels better.
Yes.
Like I don't know if it probably sounds better going DI. It probably sounds less good with an amp, but it feels way better.
Yeah.
With an
So
amp.
like I like for me that's been the best of both worlds, having the DI signal for the sound engineer to get it all right. He gets it all perfectly. I usually go stereo and have like a delay that's a ping pong delay and tell him, hey, go hard left, hard right. So that way he gets the cool effect. And then I'll just like have the amp just mono, just straight in. But it's just fun. Like I've like felt better about just going amp, like with an amp and doing this.
We just got a comment that said you're saving your back by not having to lug around speakers.
Oh yes.
Okay, Garrett and I were, around 40. we have problems. Music is a big enough deal. Lug around the freaking speakers. Like if it's not a big deal to you, then just stay in your bedroom. Like it's fine.
I'm 41. I carry around a bottle of Asper cream in my backpack all the time because it's just like, this is the price we pay.
That's funny.
It's worth it.
I've only felt a little bit of like that kind of like back pain and like neck pain stuff, but like I don't know, I get over it. But I do a lot of stretching before and after all of our shows. Like that's like my pre-show warm-up is actually like I don't play my guitar really at all.
Just take aspirin.
I know. I do stretching, like a ton of stretching, like the forearms, back, and like touch my toes. It's like easy stuff, like nothing crazy.
Yeah, when you get a wireless system, you have to start doing stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Next question here. Let's see. So I talked about it being a big deal. Why is it a big deal to you?
Why music is a big deal?
Yeah. Like why music and why guitar?
Oh my gosh, that's such
a tough
deep question.
It's a very deep question.
For me, it's just like I don't know. It's for me like literally right now when people ask me what my hobbies are, it's just music. Like that's all I do. Like it's I can't tell you why, but it's become such a central part of me that like I can't think of like doing anything else as like far as like hobby or for fun. Like when people ask me like, oh, do you want to like go do this? Like, yeah, I'm down to do whatever. I'm always down for whatever activity that sounds fun. But if someone asks me like, hey, do you want to like just jam or play music or let's go to a record store or do this or this, anything like closely resembling music and doing anything is just like automatic go-to for me. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to like give you a good answer other than like it's just embedded in me now. Like that's all I do. Like they'll ask me, oh, what did you do over the weekend? I was like, just stayed in my room and played guitar and learned a couple songs, or like, oh, I played a show, or I went to California. Like I recently told everybody I work, like, yeah, I was in California playing shows, recording music video shoots and stuff like that for my band out in Cali. I'm like, that's literally all I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of the same way. I have a lot of very other expensive hobbies, but like I always come back to music. Like it's just how it goes.
Like I've seen so many memes recently. It's one that particularly sticks out is like, there's one that's like, we might listen to the same music, but I listen to it better than you. Like, like I 100% feel that when I talk to any of like my friends or coworkers who aren't into music. I'm like, I definitely listen to like this new record. I'm like always reading like music news or stuff like that, or like, oh, this one guy, he was in this project and he did this thing and now he's doing this and so he's in this and this is where these two like that's all I do.
Well, it's like that meme with the guy that's got like the wall, and
red
all
string.
the line, the red string,
red string everywhere.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I want to ask, and this kind of goes back to another question also about like, you know, in the scene, how do we get people to show up early and see bands? How do we get people to stay bands? But, you know, and this is going to be like big old man energy right now, but like, I just remember back to when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, you know, you would just go to shows and you would go to see one band, but you would walk away with a new favorite band.
Oh yeah.
And so for a lot of us, like some of the bands that we're most fond of, some of the bands that were the biggest influence were ones that we never expected to see. Mm-hmm. So how do you go about now, right? Because the scene's different than it was 15, 20 years ago. How do you find new bands?
So for me, it's still word of mouth, but from everyone online. So whatever like discourse is happening online, like Good Terms. I've had so many people like send me their TikToks or Instagram reels about like everything. Like I was like, oh yeah, Good Terms sounds great. Or like Discord servers and like on Reddit, and the people would be like, oh, if you like this band, you should check out this band. YouTube videos like are often like the thing too. Like there's several YouTube channels I'm subscribed to that like Audio Tree, like sometimes just randomly they'll have a band on when any of their live streams, and I'll just be like, oh, this band sounds good. I'm gonna check out their music, and I've become the biggest fan of them. This happened with for me with like this band Oathbreaker from like somewhere in Europe, and they're like
Oathbreaker.
yeah. They're like shoegaze and black metal and
Fugazi.
Fugazi and black
Nate's
metal.
whole goal is to try and get young kids and convince them that shoegaze is pronounced Shugazi like Fugazi, and just waiting for it to pay off at some point. But that's because he's a dad, right? He does stuff like this all the time.
But yeah, it's like there's specific YouTube channels, or there's like a bunch of like pedal companies and like guitar companies that like these different boutique companies that like are part of like different niches in music, and I'll follow their socials and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, we did a collaboration with this one band. I'm like, who's this band, and why are they so good or so important that they get to have a sponsorship from a gear company? Okay. And so like when I see that, like when there's a sponsorship from someone, I'm like, oh, this is like the ultimate like past, like please let me look at these.
Now I know I have to be really, really picky with my sponsorships that I do.
Oh yeah,
there's more responsibility now than there was a couple minutes ago. So thanks.
Like I'll look at like some of like my favorite guitar companies are like Jackson and Fender, and I'll see who they specifically like sponsor and send guitars out, and I'm like, oh, Jackson got like recently got guy from Spirit Box.
Oh, really?
Like, you got 2 guitars. I'm like, these guitars are sick. And I saw like I should listen more and more to Spirit Box. Or recently, Misha from Periphery got a new like 30-inch offset. And I was like, this is sick. Gotta go listen to more Periphery.
I don't think I'll do 30, but 27 is in the works.
But yeah, it's like it's all this like. It's still word of mouth, but it's just through the internet. So like how I talk to people. But then there's still like for me an aspect of like actually going to a show and like just talking to people. Like I've tried to make it a point to like go to a show and like just say hi to someone or talk to someone and be like, oh, like you like this band? Like what's your favorite song? Or if I don't know a band, but I see someone's really, really excited for this band, I'll talk to them and be like, you seem really excited for this band. Why or what song is like for what reason or what song should I listen to because of this band? Cool. Like that's how I found there's this local band called Day Crash, and I like I was in like the mosh pit and I like back swung into their guitar player, and then that's how we became friends.
I love it. All right, well, we have been talking for a very long time, and that's awesome. So give us kind of a rundown of what's next for Ideal Horizon and Wave of Discord, and kind of what the plans are for the next few months to a year with both of them.
For Ideal Horizon, we're really focusing on doing a lot of content because we have an EP that we've recorded, mixed, and mastered. We've been sitting on it for like 2 months now. We just want to make sure everything is perfect for its release, get the physical media for that, and everything.
I've been trying to get Jordan to leak it to me, by the way.
I can leak maybe one of the early demos.
We should have talked about this before, so we could have it leaked on the podcast here.
But so we have everything. As far as everything, like we have it every mixed, mastered, and recorded, and all that stuff. We just want to make sure that we get the physical media correct. With this band, with Ideal Horizon, all of us are very much perfectionists, and we really want to make sure that when we do something, it's as best as we can do it. It's not going to be perfect. We don't expect perfection, but we expect it to be some of the best stuff like we can do.
Make sure to leave enough room for rock and roll and all that.
yeah, okay? Exactly. So we want to do that, and so more content. We're still going to be playing shows. We at least try to play a show once or twice a month, and then with Wave of Discord, we have new single and accompanying music video for a song called Ego Trip that I'm super excited about because this is one that's basically almost all me on guitar and bass, and having to basically figure out how to mix it. And so there's a lot of like production from like me and like figuring out how to like make it sound good. It's just such a fun song, and I did it in like a week and a half, which is crazy to me over like my trip there. So we have that coming out soon, and then hopefully we're still always with that band. It's always like constantly writing and recording. So, but like in our own time.
Yeah, when it's separated by states, you can't like sit down and like do stuff as much, right?
So like in our own time, we're gonna have things like that. But I think we're gonna do an annual show every year to just like get together and actually play the songs that we actually have done. But yeah, everyone out in LA is so cool and so like inviting to like myself and our drummer Kason from Tennessee. So yeah, just with that.
So we did get a comment here. Somebody asked what's next for
Still Tide.
Still Tide.
So Still Tide is another band that we had from Discord. That's my
really?
friend Anders.
Oh,
dude, I love you, dude. But he did all the synths for that band, and so it was like a synthy metalcore band.
Is Still Tide like a takeoff of Slow Tide?
I don't know where the name came from. I was just asked like pretty late in all the writing and recording to like contribute. I don't really think I ever recorded anything. I just kind of like gave ideas or tabs out for like different things. I don't think I ever recorded anything for that band, but it was a cool little thing we had. We have instrumentally finished 2 songs, but vocally, I don't know. Maybe we'll release that.
Sounds good. Well, we'll be anxiously waiting for it. So next on the list here, I've got a few songs where it's like national, not Utah-based stuff, but some cool stuff going on, and like bands you should know and releases you should know, according to me, So first one on the list here, we're gonna pull it up on the music so we can hear it. So we'll just listen to a clip about it and talk about it and see what y'all think. This was actually one that was playing when we were starting waiting to start the broadcast here. So this is Under Oath collaborating with a country artist, which it kind of made sense to me when I thought about it. Like there's a lot of country fans that also like hardcore at the same so it makes sense to do it together. But anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. So we'll listen to a little clip of that here.
There we go.
Good old normal Under Oath, right? So, like, for most of the breakdown, it's just regular Under Oath.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then we have country vocals in here.
I've really liked a lot of this new, like, country-inspired alt music. Or alt country, I don't know the genre. There's like Bill Murray is one of them. So good. Like when it's done right, it's some of the best stuff ever.
Yep. So that's Demon or Ghost, Mitchell Tenpenny, and Under Oath. So when I first heard that, I was like, oh gosh. So they're doing collaborations right,
Yes.
When you collaborate with somebody who's exactly like you don't get anywhere. But then when you like get out of your comfort zone and you mix all this stuff together correctly, it's real good. So I really enjoyed that one. So next on the list we have you guys heard of Real Friends?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard their new song?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so new song from Real Friends. I think it just came out this week. It's called Our Love's a Sad Song. Which sounded to me like they're ripping off Copeland lyrics.
Huh.
But let's play a little clip of that here. So it kind of starts a little slow, like.
Oh, that is really cool. That sounds so much fun.
Oh yeah, Real Friends is rad.
Oh, they're great.
And just another band that is so good live. There is no drop off between the record and how they play live.
Yep.
It's such an energetic show.
Dude, I can imagine just the amount of people who would just crowd surf.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well
To the song.
it's so energetic. I mean that's what the whole genre is all about.
Mhm.
It's all about the energy. Like Real Friends, Wonder Years, like that whole crew. So I really like that new song from them. So next on the list I had you guys heard of 408?
Yeah.
No?
Garrett has not heard of 408. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of this so that Garrett can get a feel for it and give us some feedback here.
Okay.
408, so sick.
Yeah, so this is another like brand new 408, like within the last couple of weeks here.
Oof. Just that good pop punk. Just
Yep, just good pop punk. I get like major Reliant K vibes from
Yeah.
408. A little bit like, did you ever listen to Sherwood? Like showing my age a little bit here with
Yeah.
that, but
Mm-mm.
go look up Sherwood. Sherwood's like old school, like Southern California pop punk.
Oh,
Very like similar.
Do you know what else I hear? Is very early Starting Line.
Oh yeah.
Starting Line. Oh, I love Starting Line.
This slaps. This is rad.
I love. But yeah, 408's great. They're so good. They're so fun. They're like mostly I saw them again from TikTok, and like their TikToks are fun. Like they just look like they're having fun.
Yeah, so we're not going to bore everybody with the whole song, but go listen to it. It's rad. It's Sometimes Forever is the name of the song by a band 408. I think it's 408. Now is it 408? Now I got to go look that up.
I think it's 408. I think they just
Like 303.
yeah.
All right. So those are kind of the big names that a lot of people have heard of. So there's some locals that I have found that I wanted to share. So first one is a band called One Step Closer. You guys heard of One Step Closer?
Name sounds familiar.
They're opening for 4 Years Strong this fall on tour. So that's going to be rad for them. They're hitting Salt Lake on November 6th. So little clip of them real quick here.
The new 4 Year Strong album, so good, so much.
Oh yeah, like I feel like we're a step ahead of the game here. We have found One Step Closer before they open for 4 Years Strong, who is going on tour to support their new awesome out. Like they're gonna blow up. So there's another band like that who just opened for Wonder Years who also blew up that we're gonna talk about in a minute. We'll fast forward it.
I love it when everything just gets stripped back.
Yep. Well, and these guys do a good job of going from like chill to big. Because a lot of times, like, there's not enough contrast between the verse and the chorus, right?
Mhm.
So. I love the vocals.
Oh yeah. It's just something you just scream at them if you know the song.
Like super big, like big chorus, like catchy without being catchy.
And it's something like I feel everybody can sing if they once they learn the lyrics and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, so that's enough of One Step Closer. Really like them. Another one, we've talked about Good Terms. We've talked about Good Call.
Oh,
And now we have Good Hangs.
good hang.
Have you guys heard of Good Hangs?
No, but
No.
they all three need to go on tour together.
Oh yeah, they totally need to go on tour together.
Good tour.
Yeah, the really good tour.
The
like
really good
something.
tour.
So Good Hangs is out of Chicago. From what I can tell, they're not touring at all, but like they're selling out their local shows, which is like,
Oh, that's sick.
so the next step is to go do cool stuff. So this song is called "I Only Do Push-Ups When I'm Drunk." Like they're like a party pop punk band, I guess is what I call
Okay.
them. So they're fun.
It's fun.
Let's do it.
So like that good like chill pop punk vibe, and then the chorus hits.
Yeah.
Yep, it's fun, huh?
That's fun.
That is fun.
So yeah, so that's good hangs. You're gonna want to go check them out. They have a few really cool songs. There's another one about I live in America and I shoot my way out or something like that. It's great lyrics.
But
Great
what I
lyrics.
like is that song title, like those extremely long song title
Yeah.
that like makes no sense or probably doesn't have anything to do with the song.
But it's not that long, right?
No,
Like
no.
I think we sometimes in the emo and pop punk community we get a little too out of hand with the names of songs. But agreed.
I love it.
Okay, so the last one. These are kind of dads, like older guys, like Garrett and I, out of Oregon, and they're called Static Ultra, and they build themselves as pop punk. So we'll play a little bit of them for y'all. Oh nope, that was good hangs. This is Static Ultra.
Yeah, I
Yep.
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that good pop punk feel.
All the down picking and the drums just. Let's go.
Man, this is a throwback to 1999.
I know, right?
This is
Yeah.
nostalgic as hell.
You can tell they grew up on the same stuff we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much. Sounds fun.
So they only have 4 songs on Spotify, and one of them is a "Ohio Is for Lovers" cover.
Nice.
So
Ooh.
yeah, so that's another band. I want them to do more original stuff. Like their other couple of songs they have on Spotify are really cool. But you know, it's
Oh yeah, we can always use more music.
yeah, we always need more good music. So that's what we got as far as bands you should know and releases you should know. Now, as I've been going through music and trying to find awesome music, which takes up way too much of my time, I found out music videos are rare. Like I find all these bands that have like they have really cool music, but they don't have music videos. So I found a couple music videos that we wanted to share, like little clips of. So that's what we got next. So the first one on this list is the band I was talking about that just opened for Wonder Years on tour. They're called Like Roses. Have you heard of them?
Yes, they're great.
Yeah. So also got to chat with them at the Wonder Years show. Awesome people. Like they're super accommodating, super humble. Like
Awesome.
when somebody's that unique and that good, like you don't expect them to be
Oh no,
super
not at all.
humble too, right? So I say she's the next Hayley Williams, but that's just me. So without further ado, we have Like Roses here.
They just don't miss.
No,
every
they don't.
single thing that they've put
They
out.
remind me of a band that I saw called and I think it's just because the guitar player also sings. Similar thing with this other band called Glacier Veins,
Okay.
but like almost also a similar sound. This like kind of like more melodic, like pop punk kind of sound. Like
Yeah.
super cool.
And musically they're cool, but like what really grabs me about them like is her name is Amy, the singer. Her voice.
Oh yeah.
Like that voice is just so unique and so awesome. Like you don't see stuff like that very often. All right, and my camera's about to die. I got this little thing saying I'm almost toast. All right, so next one on the list, a band called Anxious. Have you heard of Anxious?
Yes, Anxious is great.
Yeah, I didn't know they were a thing, and then I saw one of the guitarists from Good Terms wearing an Anxious shirt. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess other people know about him. So anyway, we will share with those who don't know.
What do you want? Well, I can't explain. Oh, you
Like, it's fun because to me, like Anxious is also like from the hardcore scene. A lot of these guys are like also part of like basically come from the hardcore scene, but they're doing pop punk, so it's like really aggressive, in your face, like.
Well, and you go from that like yell scream vocal to this.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've seen them play with like bands that are like super heavy, like, but like they're the softest band on the heaviest lineup usually. And they're great.
And it's always good to see boutique guitars being played, right? Like whenever I see somebody playing a Reverend, I'm like, ooh, you're halfway there. You're almost there.
But yeah, that's the one thing I like about Anxious is like they do show like where they come from and like what they bring into like a kind of a different scene, and they're also like open to like playing with these heavier bands as well. Like,
Well, and
That was one of my favorite things about the scene when we were growing up, was that you would have an emo band, a
Oh,
punk band,
yeah,
and a
mixed
hardcore
genre,
band,
like-
and it was great, right? Like you'd have, Hope's Fall playing with One Line Drawing, right? And it's just like these bands supporting each other, these bands all having this like same like Genesis root kind of common core of coming from, but like being able to bring it out into their own different styles. It was just beautiful.
and then I've also seen recently like a lot of hardcore recently has been more melodic, or like these bands will call themselves like, oh, we're from like Koyo, for example, this super sick band. They're from they call themselves Long Island hardcore,
I love Koyo.
but they don't sound hardcore. They don't have breakdowns. They don't have a lot of screaming. But there's been a lot more bands like that say like they claim hardcore. They're all from this scene, but they're not. They don't sound like that scene, but like they act, and their lyrics and all their imagery and everything is from that scene. So like,
Yeah,
it's great.
like I feel like there's a certain group of people that understand that like Atreyu and the Starting Line are really part of the same scene. And if you listen to those bands back to back, you're like, I don't get it, right? But if like that's the scene, right? It's the bands that care that much about the live show and about the energy that comes with it, right? So anyway.
Like me, for instance, I'm wearing a Full of Hell shirt, like this like extreme grindcore band.
Yep.
But I play in like this like alt rock pop punk band. Like
Wave of Discord it gets pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Wave of Discord is cool because now it's like I said, like he's had us be more of a part of the music making process now, and so a lot of my ideas and our drummers' ideas are shining through. Like we've added blast beats to like one of our singles. I've added like super low tuned guitars to like some songs.
What's super low to you?
D sharp 1.
D sharp. Okay.
That's the lowest right now. I don't plan on going lower just because anything lower is just too muddy. But
Oh yeah. Well, it starts to be bass guitar, you know. Awesome. All right. Well, last music video of the night, and then we'll wrap it up. Is World's Greatest Dad. Have you heard of World's Greatest Dad?
Name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever heard of them.
This is one of my favorites. They're from Atlanta. They also just don't miss. Everything they're putting out is like incredibly poppy music, incredibly sad and heartfelt and introspective lyrics. They're about to come out with their second full length. I've seen them. They've come to Salt Lake 3 times. I went and saw them all 3 times, and they put on an amazing live show. They care. Cool. They're energetic. They are so much fun.
So yeah, this is the you heard it here first. Is World's Greatest Dad. I think they only have 4,000 followers on Instagram right now.
Yeah, it's something super low. This band should be way bigger than they are. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but every person who hears them that's part of the scene is yeah, I get it. Ooh. These guys are great. And this one just came out 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So here we go. This is World's Greatest Dad. Take one for the team.
And walk away.
Oh yeah. Well, it's about the melody instead of the other stuff. the details.
They're just one of these skip bands, right? When they just come on the playlist, you're just all right, cool. I'm in a good spot right now.
Yeah, so I really like them. That's awesome. But like you said, it's simple, right? It's not all the extra notes, I guess is what you say. There's
a beauty to being able to dial it back.
Oh yeah,
and just rely on the song and the melody without having to go extra, right?
You know who Tommy Emmanuel is?
Yeah.
So Tommy Emmanuel says that he's a fantastic solo guitarist. So I once saw Tommy Emmanuel play. It was a 3-hour concert. He was on stage alone with an acoustic guitar, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And somebody asked him once, what do you do on an off night? And he says, well, good songs cover for off nights. Oh. And that's World's Greatest Dad right there. The songs are good and they're simple, and if they have an off night, the songs are still good, Yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's all we have for tonight. So thanks. We actually had a handful of people tune in. So thanks for being here and chatting.
Shout out Anders.
Anders,
such a sick dude. He has his own what's it called? He runs his own I can't even remember audio company, so he gets a bunch of samples.
Oh, cool.
Stuff like that. So he's super sick. He does movies and stuff soundscapes and sound tracking for movies and stuff. So sick.
That's fun. We also had Gila from I'd Rather Be.
Shout out I'd Rather Be.
Yeah. So they actually did something pretty cool with
Kellen Quinn
recently.
Yeah, so sick. I got to hear an early demo of that song.
Oh yeah,
it was super sick.
So we'll highlight that on the next episode here. But yeah, it's cool stuff. But my camera's dead. The only camera we have left is the one on you guys. So
awesome.
Thanks for being here tonight, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.